Imagine a house where every door surrendered to the same iron key, where a rooftop platform became a lookout for fires, for ships, for a future that might never arrive. These aren't the features you'll find in a modern open-concept floor plan. They're the hidden remnants of how we used to live. From the 19th century well into the early 1900s, homes were filled with ingenious and sometimes puzzling solutions to everyday life. Here are 10 architectural ghosts that time has quietly retired. Before we could buzz someone from our phones, the wealthy relied on a humble system of brass and tin. The speaking tube was the 19th century equivalent of an intercom. A network of metal pipes threaded through walls connected the kitchen to the parlor, the nursery to the master bedroom. At each end sat a decorative mouthpiece, often carved wood or ceramic, sometimes shaped like a cornucopia. To summon a servant, you'd blow a whistle built into the tube. A sharp squeal echoed in the distant room. Then you'd speak directly into the opening, your voice traveling through the pipe like a whispered secret. These systems were elegant in their simplicity, but they vanished when the telephone and electric buzzers arrived. Today, you might spot their ghostly remains. A capped brass ring protruding from a baseboard, painted over by decades of landlords. Look closely at the doors in a pre-1940s house. The keyholes aren't the narrow slits we know today. They're broad, almost heart-shaped openings that invite a curious eye. These doors were locked with warded locks, operated by the classic skeleton key. The key itself was a slender iron rod with a simple flat bit at the end. Inside the lock, metal obstructions called wards blocked any key that wasn't cut correctly. But the system was more about privacy than security. A single skeleton key often worked for every door in the house, and sometimes half the neighborhood. As urban life grew denser and security concerns mounted, the pin tumbler lock, the Yale style we still use, took over. The old keys now sit in junk drawers, relics of an age when locking up was more gesture than barrier. Walk into a bungalow built between 1900 and 1930, and your hand might reach for a light switch that looks more like a doorbell. Two small buttons, one mother of pearl white, one ebony black, sat flush against a solid brass plate. You pressed the top button, click. A satisfying, heavy snap announced that electricity was flowing. Press the bottom button, clack. The circuit broke. In those early days, electrification was a status symbol, so switch plates were often ornate, celebrating the miracle of power at your fingertips. By mid-century, cheaper toggle switches took over, quieter and easier to manufacture. But many original push-button switches still work a century later, cherished by homeowners who love the weight of that mechanical click. Before open-concept floor plans, Victorian and Edwardian homes prized separation, but they also needed the occasional grand gesture. Enter the pocket door. Instead of swinging on hinges, these massive slabs of oak or mahogany glided on a top-mounted track and disappeared into a hollow cavity, the pocket, inside the wall. In formal homes, a pair of them often stood between the parlor and dining room. When a dinner party began, the host would slide them open in one smooth motion, revealing the table in a theatrical reveal. They were elegant, but notoriously finicky. The tracks, usually wood or soft metal, would warp. A door slipping off its carriage inside the wall meant tearing into plaster. By the 1940s, builders largely abandoned them for simpler hinged doors. Today, a working pocket door from 1890 is a rare treasure. Its rumble like distant thunder inside the wall. In the 1920s and 30s, home architects became obsessed with efficiency. With no dedicated laundry rooms, they started hiding chores inside walls. The built-in ironing board cabinet was a narrow, vertical door, often in the kitchen or hallway. You pulled it open, and a hinged wooden board folded down, a slender leg springing out to support it. Inside the cabinet, small shelves held the iron and starch. Some even had a metal-lined slot to rest the hot iron safely. It was a brilliant space saver for an era when ironing was a daily, never-ending ritual. But as permanent press fabrics arrived and homes expanded to include utility rooms, the wall-mounted board became obsolete. Now, many of those cabinets are painted shut or repurposed as quirky spice racks. In the late 1800s, middle-class Americans craved the look of ornate European plaster ceilings without the European price tag. The solution came stamped from sheets of tin. Massive steam hammers pressed intricate patterns, vines, rosettes, geometric labyrinths into thin tin plate. These panels were nailed to wooden strips on the ceiling and painted white to mimic plaster. The result was fire-resistant, durable, and affordable. You'd find them in kitchens, pantries, and commercial storefronts, adding elegance to everyday spaces. During World War II, many were scrapped for metal drives. In the post-war years, they were often covered over by drop ceilings to hide modern ductwork. Today, discovering an intact, rust-free tin ceiling is a jackpot for historic homeowners. Before municipal water reached every street, many homes harvested what fell from the sky. Look in the basement or attic of a pre-1920s house, and you might find a massive stone-lined pit or a brick chamber, a cistern. Rainwater from the gutters was diverted through downspouts into this holding tank. While well water was often hard with minerals, rainwater was soft, perfect for washing hair, laundry, and delicate fabrics. In some houses, a dedicated hand pump at the kitchen sink drew exclusively from the cistern. When modern water treatment made clean, soft water available on demand, cisterns were abandoned. Many were filled with rubble and capped with concrete, leaving behind only a mysterious round cover in the basement floor. A quiet reminder that water was once something you saved, not just turned on. Long before refrigerators, keeping potatoes, carrots, and turnips through the winter required a specific alchemy: cool, dark, and humid. The root cellar was often a partitioned room in the deepest corner of the basement, or a separate dugout built into a hillside. Unlike the rest of the house, the floor was packed earth, which helped regulate moisture. Wooden bins lined with sand or straw held the harvest. The air smelled of soil and resting roots. With the rise of electric refrigerators and supermarkets selling summer vegetables year-round, the need to hoard a winter's worth of produce faded. Many root cellars were converted to wine storage or simply sealed off. Their earthy scent sealed away with them. Perched atop 19th century coastal homes, especially in New England, the Widow's Walk is one of architecture's most romanticized features. A railed platform at the highest point of the roof, often surrounding a chimney or cupola. Legend says captains' wives paced these platforms, scanning the horizon for a returning ship that might never appear. It's a poignant image, but historians offer a more practical explanation. The platform gave quick access to the chimney in case of a fire, a frequent hazard in wood-heated homes. A bucket of sand or water poured down the flue could stop a disaster. Whatever the true origin, harsh weather and persistent leaks led most to be removed or roofed over by the 20th century. Those that remain stand as quiet sentinels, exposed to wind and memory alike. In the dining rooms of Gilded Age mansions, the host never raised a voice. Beneath the rug, tucked under the dining table, a small brass button lay hidden, The floor call button. The lady of the house knew exactly where to place her foot. A subtle press sent a buzzer ringing discreetly in the kitchen or butler's pantry. Servants would appear without a word, clearing courses or bringing the next dish. It allowed a seamless, almost magical dining experience where every need was met in silence. When live-in domestic staff became a rarity after World War II, these buttons were disconnected. Today, new homeowners sometimes discover them while pulling up old carpets. A small, enigmatic brass disc in the middle of the floor, waiting for a signal that will never come.